Here's your news for May 21st, 2020. And your headlines for today include: WWE wrestler suggests Shad Gaspard to get WWE Warrior Award. WWE fans blast Kevin Dunn. Undertaker was pissed at Montreal Screwjob. WWE hasn't given up on Sister Abigail. Drake Maverick's WWE future, and a big match set for WWE NXT Takeover in your house. We're starting off today by looking at the unfortunate passing of Shad Gaspard, as the WWE has released a statement on his death after his body was found off Venice Beach. In their statement, the company said, WWE is saddened to learn that former WWE superstar Shad Gaspard has passed away at the age of 39. Gaspard had gone missing while swimming with his son at Venice Beach in California on May 17th. In his final act, Gaspard instructed lifeguards to save his son's life. In addition to being a WWE superstar, Shad had served as the bodyguard for the likes of P. Diddy, Britney Spears, and Mike Tyson before he joined WWE, where he competed as one half of Crime Time. Outside of the ring, Gaspard was also pursuing an acting career which included parts in Brothers and Think Like a Man 2, and also had a role as an extra in the recent DC Comics Birds of Prey film. WWE also released an article to remember Shad, and it's safe to say that this hero will never be forgotten by the WWE or its fans. We've got more news regarding Shad's unfortunate passing next, as the former WWE superstar was taken far too soon, but now some friends have figured out a way to help his family. The company Collar & Elbow have launched a new shirt based on the Crime Time star, with 100% of the proceeds going to help Gaspard's family. The shirt itself is based on a Mike Tyson shirt Shad himself was wearing in the photo tweeted by Collar & Elbow, and reads, "Brooklyn's own beast Shad Gaspard, heavyweight hero." And given that Shad died saving his son, he certainly is a hero. This wasn't even the first time Gaspard risked his life to save others, as he also helped prevent an armed robbery at a Coral Springs, Florida gas station, which was covered in our own video, 7 WWE Wrestlers Who Saved Lives. For those who can't afford a shirt but still want to help out, you can donate via PayPal at collarandelbow@gmail.com and put BEAST in the notes. And the site also confirmed a GoFundMe will be set up soon. Shad's family could certainly use any help available during this time, and though no amount of money will make up for the loss of the former superstar, it will at least make this difficult time that little bit more bearable. Following the news of Shad's death being confirmed, many of his former colleagues paid tribute to the former superstar, and Mark Henry even argued that WWE should honor Shad's life and sacrifice with the Warrior Award. As fans know, the Warrior Award is something that takes place during the company's Hall of Fame, and if WWE takes note of Henry's nomination, Shad will become the first wrestler to receive it. We've got news from Vice's Dark Side of the Ring next, as the Season 2 finale covered the death of Owen Hart. Documenting Owen's tragic fall at the Over the Edge 1999 pay-per-view, the show included interviews from those who were present, including The Godfather and Jim Ross, who revealed exactly how he discovered that Owen had died. According to the AEW announcer, it was Kevin Dunn who told him, with a very cold line, as Dunn reportedly told Ross, "He's dead. And you're back in 10, 9, 8. Dunn's seeming lack of empathy caused quite the backlash on social media, with many criticizing the callousness of Dunn for allowing JR just a few seconds to process his own grief, with some commenting that WWE will be a better place when Dunn is out of the company. This backlash was so bad that the WWE producer was even trending on Twitter after the episode aired, and although there is an old saying that all publicity is good publicity, we doubt this is how Dunn wanted his name to be trending. It's clear that the death of Owen Hart is a very complex and thought-provoking dark day for wrestling, so it only makes sense that Vice's coverage of it brought in a new all-time high for viewership for their documentary series. According to Showbuzz Daily, the Season 2 finale brought in 349,000 viewers, up from last week's 264,000, as well as the Season 2 premiere of Chris Benoit that brought in 320,000. Out of those 349,000 who tuned in, one person who watched with great interest is CM Punk, who took to Twitter to express his thoughts on the show. According to the former WWE champion, he was only halfway through the emotional documentary before he realized that he needed to take a break, and said that he wanted to tell Owen's widow Martha and her children Oj and Athena just how much he admires their strength. In the 18 to 49 demographic, the episode brought in a respective 0.18, and with viewing figures and ratings like this, we can't wait to see what Vice has planned if they do a third season of Dark Side of the Ring. We are looking at news from The Undertaker next, and as part of the promotion for his new Last Ride series, Mark Calaway sat down with the Ringers, the Bill Simmons podcast, to discuss his lengthy career. On the show, the Phenom was asked about his thoughts on the Montreal Screwjob and revealed he was very unhappy how things went down. He said, "I was like, I could have possibly been used to get what we needed. Take Shawn out of this, let me do it, and then I'll do business on the other side, and I think Brett probably would have went for that. I mean, there was such disdain at that time between the two of them, and Brett was leaving, but I was just like, if he had come to me with this too, and it's his company and he did what he thought was best, but I was like, I think I could have helped this whole thing out." It's interesting that the dead man says this, as he could have been the one to challenge Brett for the title on that fateful November night if he had been victorious and crowned the #1 contender in the first ever Hell in a Cell match the month prior at Bad Blood. Adding that he showed up late to Raw the next day because of how angry he was at the situation, the dead man said he could have been the one that Brett lost the title to, only for the dead man himself to lose the gold to Shawn shortly after. Ultimately, that isn't what happened, as Brett was screwed out of the title, and we can't help but wonder how different the wrestling world would be today if things had gone down differently. The Screwjob wasn't the only major talking point of the show though, as Simmons also asked about The Undertaker's WrestleMania 34 match where he handily defeated John Cena. Despite the match resulting in the dead man adding the 16-time world champion to his list of victims, the match didn't go how he wanted, as he revealed, "I get to New Orleans and they said, this match probably needs to go about 5 minutes, and I'm like, you're kidding me, right? Because I'm ready to go. I was ready to go for 45 minutes. That's how I train, and a 45-minute pace I had, I was so dead set. I was so disappointed from the prior year that I'm like, I'm gonna tear this up, and I'm gonna go at a pace probably faster than what people normally see me go at. I'm gonna do things I haven't done in a long time." If you've been watching the Last Ride series, you'll know how unhappy The Undertaker was with his WrestleMania 33 encounter with Roman Reigns. And though he'd hoped to make amends with a lengthy encounter with the 16-time world champion, that unfortunately didn't take place. From one dark superstar to another now, as Bray Wyatt has certainly got a rich character to himself, and part of this lore is Sister Abigail. Though his cryptic teach is now presented in the form of Abby the Witch, it seems WWE haven't given up on the name yet, as recent documents indicated that WWE filed another trademark for Sister Abigail on May 13th. Given that Wyatt is one of the hottest things in WWE right now, this is certainly interesting timing, though it could be that WWE are locking down their intellectual property for safekeeping. Though he failed to regain the Universal title at Money in the Bank from Braun Strowman, it's been reported that The Fiend and the Monster Among Men will face off, and time will tell whether Sister Abigail will also appear. Speaking of copyrights, it's no secret that WWE likes to lock down whatever they can, but a recent trademark has a lot of people confused. Last week, WWE filed a trademark for the term Def Rebel, though we don't have any idea what it means. The copyright in question allows WWE to use the copyright for computer software, clothing, and entertainment, and it'll be interesting to see who, or what, Def Rebel actually is. We've got news from NXT now, as while he's been released from WWE, Drake Maverick continues to shock everyone as part of the NXT Cruiserweight title tournament. Earning a surprise victory over Kushida this week, Maverick improved his tournament record to 2-1, meaning he, Kushida, and Jake Atlas all tie for first place in the Group A bracket. Post-match, Byron Saxton confirmed that General Manager William Regal has issued a triple threat match between the three for next week, with the winner facing Group B's winner El Hijo del Fantasma to determine the interim NXT Cruiserweight champion. Speaking of gold, this week's show saw an appearance by NXT Women's Champion Charlotte Flair, as she made it clear that there's only one queen on the gold brand. Appearing during a match between Io Shirai and Rhea Ripley, Flair took out both women, but attacked Shirai first, earning the Joshi Judas the win via disqualification. With NXT TakeOver In Your House fast approaching, hopefully fans will find out who Flair will face at the event, though it certainly looks like WWE could be gearing up for triple threat action. Speaking of In Your House, the first match has been confirmed for the show, as Karrion Kross will take on Tommaso Ciampa. This challenge was laid down by the former NXT champion on this week's show after Cross opened up by destroying a local enhancement talent, and fans can prepare for these two to collide on June 7th. We've got news from AEW next, as during this week's Dynamite, another huge match was added to the Double or Nothing card. Appearing in a mock news segment, Shawn Spears claimed that Dustin Rhodes had retired, which actually isn't true, but continued to say that the real travesty is that he doesn't have a match at Double or Nothing. Next, Spears said he was going into business for himself by challenging the allegedly retired Rhodes to a match at the pay-per-view, forcing AEW to make it official as it had been discussed on TV. Spears vs. Rhodes is just the latest match added to this weekend's stacked card, which will also see Jon Moxley vs. Brody Lee for the AEW World title, and Cody and Lance Archer compete to be the first TNT champion. And fans will be able to see the action unfold, as well as a guest appearance by Mike Tyson when Double or Nothing airs from Daly's Place this Saturday. Back to WWE now, and whilst Paige's in-ring career is over, at least for the time being, the former Divas champion has plenty of ways to interact with her fans. The original Anti-Diva is quite the Twitch streamer, though during her last stream, where she played Animal Crossing, she ended up with a razor in her hand and too close to her eyebrows. This resulted in Paige taking half of an eyebrow off, which was followed by a lot of laughter and profanity by the now 1.5-eyebrowed superstar. If there is a silver lining to this, Paige did admit that the razor gave her a very smooth shave, and we're sure her new eyebrows are gonna make Paige an early favorite in this year's Dwayne Johnson lookalike contest. Speaking of things being cut, we're looking at WWE's huge releases from last month, as more details have come out about how some were informed that their services were no longer required. When a fan asked Rusev on Twitter how he got fired, the Bulgarian sarcastically answered, by receiving a text to call the office, which is different to many stars who were called to be told they were being released by Senior Director of Talent Relations Mark Carano. Rusev wasn't the only person to be texted first, as Matt Cardona, aka Zack Ryder, replied to his message saying, "You too?" As it seems, the Long Island Iced Z also received the dreaded text informing him to call. We don't know if Carano tried to call first and couldn't get in touch, but it must have been worrying for both men after seeing reports of their fellow colleagues being released to read a text telling them to call the office. Now, both Ryder and Rusev are free agents, though under a 90-day non-compete clause that ends on July 15th, and it'll be interesting to see what the future holds for both men's respective careers. And finally, today we're ending with news from WWE behind the scenes. As while Triple H may be the company's COO and married to Stephanie McMahon, he doesn't have as much clout backstage as fans may think. According to SmackDown's executive director Bruce Pritchard, who spoke on his podcast, Vince McMahon often vetoes some of the game's suggestions, as he's part of the family, and also vetoes some ideas put forth by both Stephanie and Shane McMahon. Though the boss apparently doesn't listen to the game, he does listen to his DX comrade Shawn Michaels, as Pritchard described the Heartbreak Kid as having a little more leeway with the chairman of the board. Pritchard went on to say that both he and the game know an idea of theirs won't be approved if even Michaels isn't able to convince him, as it's clear sometimes Vince McMahon knows exactly what he wants.